I am Dr. Avatar Krishna Ganju, Senior Hematologist at American Oncology Institute, Nagpur. Today, I am going to discuss something about leukemias. That's what is my field, and we treat all kinds of leukemias here in our hospital. So before I speak about leukemias, let me tell you what is blood. Blood is nothing but three cells. It's a science which deals with three cells, is the RBC, WBCs, and platelets, and they are flowing in fluid, what's known as plasma. So any disease which afflicts the RBC, WBC, and platelet, that becomes my field, and that for which I work and examine patients, make diagnosis, and treat them. So RBCs are basically they carry hemoglobin with them, and that hemoglobin is very important for oxygen to be carried to the different parts of the body. Oxygen is vital for each and every cell of your body, and therefore oxygen needs to be there for every cell. To reach to that place is the blood which carries the RBC with hemoglobin and oxygen. Similarly, we have WBCs. WBCs are the immune competent cells. They will help to keep you away from infections and many more other functions which the WBC has. It's like, somebody having a chowkidar at his home, or police in the city, or army in the country. So all the function of that, whatever it is, same is the function of WBC. Takes care of your body. Any infections getting into your body like typhoid or any disease, these WBCs, they will be the first to come for the defense, and will try to curtail the infection. Similarly, we have platelets, and these platelets are the moving particles in the blood, and they help in clotting mechanism. So whenever there is a bleeding, the bleeding stops just because the platelets are there. So platelet is one of the constituents of clotting mechanism. So this is how these three cells, they work, and they are very vital because any disease affecting them will affect their function. So if we have hemoglobin going down, you become weak because oxygen carrying capacity goes down, and you look pale. Like, for example, if your WBCs go down, or WBCs are they are defective, then you tend to get infections. So you develop fever. And when the platelets go down, you tend to bleed. One can have initially bleeding in the skin, or one can bleed from their nose or gums, from any other part. Patient can bleed if the platelets are low. Therefore, we need to have all these three cell lines intact for a normal functioning of the body. Acute leukemia. Leukemia, in the sense, we have two kinds of leukemia. One is acute, the other one is chronic. Acute leukemia comes very fast, in the sense that the history is very short, and if untreated, usually the life may not be more than 4 months. Similarly, chronic leukemias, they exist, and they may be there without the knowledge of the patient, or without the knowledge of the person. And it's known only when you find that he has some kind of fever and gets investigated. We see the CBC, and CBC picks up the disease. So chronic leukemia goes slow, continues slow, and many of these chronic leukemias, they may not need treatment initially, and they may need treatment a little later once. So acute leukemias are of two types. One is acute lymphoblastic leukemia. The other one is the acute myeloid leukemia. Acute lymphoblastic leukemia seems to be the commonest leukemia in children. More than 80% patients will have the children will have acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which seems to be better than acute myeloid leukemia. Acute lymphoblastic leukemia seems to be a success story. One can treat it, and one may be able to salvage at least more than 80-90% patients with different drug regimens. Similarly, we have acute myeloid leukemia, which seems to be more common in adults than in children. So 80% of adult leukemias are acute myeloid leukemia. They are worse than what you have the acute lymphoblastic leukemia. The results are not very good, comparable to acute lymphoblastic leukemia. So whenever one sees that the patient has developed severe anemia and has fever and has skin marks, then we do think of acute leukemia. So acute leukemia manifests as severe anemia or with fever and purpuric spots, all that manifest the 3-cell line failure. And therefore, for the investigations, we do the CBC. CBC will pick up more than 90% of the patients. And some of these patients may not have these cancer cells flowing in the blood circulation. And therefore, they may be seen when we do the bone marrow. Normally, we would do in acute leukemia in each and every patient, the bone marrow is done. Bone marrow is done for further studies because we would like to pinpoint the kind of leukemia, because now there are mechanisms, there are methods, and there are treatments available for different leukemias. And so you do their flow cytometry, we do the molecular markers to know what kind of, how bad or how good is the disease. So once we have made the diagnosis of acute leukemia, acute lymphoblastic leukemia versus acute myeloid leukemia, then these patients are admitted. Especially this acute lymphoblastic leukemia, as I said, it's a success story because we can cure more than 80% patients. And they can be cured just by chemotherapy. It's a fact that these patients, if they relapse back, only then they require bone marrow transplant in future. So acute lymphoblastic leukemia, we always encourage the patients that they should come up and they should get treated. Acute myeloid leukemia, as opposed to this, may not be a very good disease because the results would be, without transplant, may not be more than 25 to 30%, except in certain acute myeloid leukemia where we have better prognostic markers. These better prognostic markers, they can give results as good as acute lymphoblastic leukemia. So what we see in acute leukemia is a tri-lineage failure, the hemoglobin dropping down, WBCs may go down or may go high, platelets may usually go down. It's all because the bone marrow gets occupied by all these cancer cells. These are the bad cells, and these cancer cells have no function. They cannot do anything because they are the premature cells. The matured cells in the myeloid series is the granulocyte, the neutrophil, which one sees in the peripheral blood. Whereas what you see in the bone marrow is that maturation defect has occurred. The earlier stage of the myeloid cell, it doesn't mature, and therefore all these bad cells, all these cells have no function. They accumulate in the bone marrow, and then they will come out into the peripheral blood and will flood the peripheral blood where it's easily being picked up. So once we make the diagnosis, then these patients are to be treated. For the treatment part, these patients, they need to be admitted, and we admit, and usually it will take at least 3 to 4 weeks for getting their bone marrow back to normal. So we treat them with chemotherapy. Most of these patients, especially the children and the adults and all these patients, they will be treated with chemotherapy. And the drugs which are being given, maybe some drugs are given daily, some are alternate day, some are weekly. And also, since blood circulates in each and every part of the body, these drugs, they will not reach the brain. So those cells which are there in the brain, the blood cells which are there in the brain, may not be taken care by the chemotherapy which we are giving, and therefore they need a specific treatment for that. We give intrathecal treatment. That means we take some spinal fluid, and through that we inject drugs which will help in treating if the disease is there in the CSF, or it also is being used as a prophylactic treatment. If these patients, they relapse, then it's really sometimes very difficult to treat them, because if these patients, they don't get the transplant, they will not be treated. Now, transplant means, what does it mean? Transplant means that those patients who have relapsed back, we treated these patients, they went into remission. That means their bone marrow got back to normal, and now the disease has come back. Now, when the disease comes back, we have to put these patients again into remission. That means we have to get their bone marrow back to normal. And then, since this normal bone marrow cannot stay long, it will relapse back again if we are not giving them to transplant. So what transplant means, that we give higher doses of chemotherapy. That chemotherapy might damage the bone marrow. So he may not come out of that high dose chemotherapy, and therefore, and the reason is that the bone marrow gets totally damaged. So in that sense, what you do is that we take a bone marrow from his sibling where the bone marrow is stored, where the tissue matches. The tissue matching is done by what is known as HLA, or human leukocyte antigen. We do their testing in the patient, and then we search for the donor. Donor is usually sibling, and where we have the complete matching, then the donor is selected. So we normally will take his stem cell, and these stem cells can be taken from the peripheral blood by the machine. So machine takes out the stem cell from the donor, and these stem cells are being used for the transplant. That means we give them high doses of chemotherapy and totally treat their bone marrow so that there is no cancer cell in the bone marrow. And then the bone marrow which we have taken from the donor, this is being given as an IV, as we give IV fluid, or as we give the blood transfusion. So in this way, we give the stem cell transfusion to the patient. And then this patient has to be there in the hospital, especially special rooms where they don't get infections, or we prevent infections. They are the rooms which have HEPA filters. The organism, it's an organism-less area, because when we are knocking off their bone marrow, there is no cell in the bone marrow. So bone marrow function is gone. That means there is no WBC, there's no platelet, there is no RBC. Everything has to be supported from outside. You have to give blood transfusions. We have to give, the antibiotics. We have to give the platelets. All these things, they have to be given, because after the transplant, for at least 3 weeks, there is no production. There are no cells in the bone marrow. It will take 3 weeks for these stem cells to grow in the bone marrow, so that you get the normal cell count out into the peripheral blood. So one has to wait for 3 to 4 weeks for the bone marrow recovery, and only after that they don't require transfusions. So bone marrow transplant procedure is a complex procedure, technologically highly advanced, and it has to be done in special hospitals with special rooms, and you have to have the donor. It has to be fully matched. It's not easy to get a donor. In a family, 20% people can be a full match for the sibling. So one has to get that, and then the technology is quite complex, and one can have some mortality also. And some of these patients may have some problems which are related to the bone marrow transplant, which is known as graft versus host disease. So there would be some patients who will relapse back even after the transplant. So currently there are newer methods, newer technologies which have come up. In the sense, you can have a targeted treatment, you can have an immunotherapy, wherein one can use one's own immune system to target these cancers. And the technology which has come up, which is known as CAR T cells, and these CAR T cells are now available presently in the United States and other parts of the world, highly in the developed countries, where these are being used, and patients can be cured even after multiple relapses. Acute leukemia is really a treatment which has to be given while the patient is there in the hospital, and it has to be treated very intensely. As opposed to this chronic leukemias, since they are slow to grow and they take increased period of time, and there will be some patients who may not require treatment for a prolonged period of time unless they progress. So progression could be towards the acute leukemia, or there could be a change in the disease itself. Chronic myeloid leukemia is one of the leukemias which is basically now treatable. Today it's treatable because we have come to know the target, and one has developed a drug which can target that target and can cure these patients. Imatinib mesylate appears to be the treatment for chronic myeloid leukemia, which has really cured a significant number of patients of chronic myeloid leukemia. Similarly, we have chronic lymphatic leukemia. Again, this is a chronic disease. Up to stage 2, we don't treat. Stage 3 and stage 4 are being treated. We do the prognostic markings, and if they have bad prognostic markers, they may require treatment quite early. And most of these patients, they may get, now we have tablets, again target treatment trial. We basically block the pathways, and we treat these disorders with tablets. So now we have newer drugs most of them, they are tablets for the chronic leukemias, and they are doing wonders, and we can treat these patients. And therefore, what I say, that there has been a tremendous advancements in chronic, in acute, in the leukemias, and leukemias, many of these leukemias are cured, and therefore one should be encouraged to get the treatment, and one should not get depressed just because they have acute leukemia or they have chronic leukemia. They should visit a physician, a hematologist who can guide them properly, and he can treat them properly. Thank you very much.